So that leads us on to agenda item number 6, which is the renaming of Sherborn Park. We have the report before us. In order to enable debate, I will move the report from the chair. Does that receive a seconder? Councillor Croft, thank you. Which moves us on to public speaking. Councillor Guttridge.
You haven't started yet.
No, you're ready.
Ready. Members of the subcommittee, I wish to speak again about the renaming of Sherborn Avenue Park, or should I say Sherborn Park. As you can see from the consultation, residents are not in favour of renaming the park. But I would like to put forward an option that hopefully would suit all residents. Would like to put forward an option that hopefully would suit all. I've spoken to a lot of residents because I've spent a lot of time in that park as we are in the process of rebuilding. I would like, if possible, to keep Sherborn Park as Sherborn Park, but rename the playground the Louis Stevens NBBC playground, similar to what we have done in remembrance of Fusilier Louis Carter, i.e. in Riversley Park, and Sergeant Simon Valentine in the Miners' Welfare Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Guttridge. Any points of clarification from members of the committee? No? In which case we'll move on to Councillor Conderbourg.
Is this on, or do I need to?
It is on, I can hear you, Councillor Conderbourg.
Thank you. It's a great pity that proposal wasn't put in the paperwork. I think if it was, people would have turned up and commented on it. We've gone to a lot of effort to consult on whether this should be a park named after the road and the area it's in, after things like the old brickworks or Stanley's who ran the old brickworks. And I think it's outrageous if we vote for something that hasn't had any public consultation. So I'm not happy with political naming of the play equipment. We've named things in the past after people who've laid down their lives for their country, and no one objected to that because they were very worthy people where there was no dispute over their contribution. There's lots of people in politics who have contributed in the history of the borough, and so I think we need to be clear that such things need some public consent, and this doesn't have it. So I'm very disappointed if you are going to try and name the park via the back door by just naming the play equipment area rather than the whole park, and we'll see what the public think. Thank you, Chair.
Any points of clarification on anything that Councillor Conderbourg has said? No? In which case it's open to members of the committee to debate. Anyone wish to open up the floor? Councillor Croft.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to come back, it's already been raised, but my understanding was that we were only ever going to rename the play area in the park. That was the proposal that we put forward. In the same way that Riversley Park wasn't named after Louis Carter, it wouldn't be the entire park. So I think that might have been some crossed wires in the presentation of this consultation. But what Councillor Guthrie says is something I'm entirely in support of, and I reject utterly any suggestion that the late Mr. Louis Stevens, who gave many decades of service to this borough in Parliament and in local government, is not worthy of being commemorated in this way.
Just to follow on from that, that was I believe that was the intention, that it was the actual park, because that is the bit which is being redone as part of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. Sorry? The play area. The play area itself. It's the play area which is being redone by the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. And I do take great exception to comments which were made online by one of the speakers from the opposition tonight and elsewhere. This isn't about rewarding political cronies, this is about rewarding people who have given decades of service. Indeed, when I moved this proposal last time around, it wasn't party political. I made the same offer to the Leader of the Opposition, Councillor Watkins, that Bill Olner is a local man who had served a number of years of this authority and the County Council and in Parliament. Now, I may disagree with a lot of what the late Bill Olner had said and done, but no one can disagree with the length and depth of his service to this area. And so an offer was made in a similar vein to Councillor Watkins that if they could find something to name after Bill Olner, then that would also be considered. We do have a legacy in the Nuneaton and Bedworth of naming things after politicians who are dedicated. I think it's a shame that that has fallen out of use because, believe it or not, we don't do this for the kudos, we certainly don't do it for the money, we do it because we believe in public service. Just look at John Haynes Court, for example, in Bedworth, or you've got Frederick Wall in Arbury, you've got James Diskin Court, I could go on across Nuneaton and in Bedworth. And both Bill Olner and Lewis Stevens were local members. They weren't people parachuted in by their respective political parties. They were born and bred in this area. Historically, if you go back in time, you will see that Nuneaton was used to parachute people in at the party at the time who had the parliamentary seat, and it was Labour, if you look at the history books. They used Nuneaton as a way to parachute people into Parliament and bundle the people up into the Lords. This isn't what this is about. This is about recognising that people who do dedicate decades of service, and I have to say, Lou did more than just Parliament and local government. He also did a lot with the voluntary sector as well. And to see online that certain people were trying to make this a party political issue and mislead people, I think is greatly misrepresenting the facts and also potentially shows in the results because they weren't getting the full story from everyone. So I will slightly amend the recommendation to clarify it is the play area on Sherborn Avenue Park that is to be named for Lewis Stevens MBE Memorial area. Councillor Croft, as the second, did you accept that friendly amendment? Okay. So in which case, if everyone is clear on what they are voting for, which is the play area only, can we move to a vote in favour of that recommendation? All those in favour, please show. Thank you. That is carried.